Hello there, hope you are doing well today. I'm super delighted to welcome you to my channel, and this is Property Matters. My name is Adejare, I'm your host, and everything we discuss here often talks extensively about real estate activities in Lagos, Nigeria. I have spoken extensively on how you can identify a manipulative real estate developer, and I've also talked extensively on how you can also identify a fraudulent real estate transaction. The aim and goal of this channel is to ensure that you don't lose a dime to any form of fraudulent real estate investment, more importantly in the beautiful city of Lagos, Nigeria. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, do well to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you after this short commercial. Don't go nowhere. So on today's episode, I'm going to be reacting to a question that was raised by a concerned diasporian investor who asked me a simple question. Would you still advise someone to invest in Nigeria despite the harsh economic condition, high level of insecurity, and to mention but a few? And this question has inspired me to do a video so I can share more light to, of course, talk more about these concerns that was raised by this particular investor, and of course give practical approach on how you can get the best out of the Nigerian real estate market. So I'm going to start today's episode by giving a quote of a Mexican billionaire in the person of Charles Flings, who said that the best time to get or make a profitable real estate investment or any form of investment is during the economy downtown or during economic depression. Truthfully, Nigeria is presently experiencing its worst economic nightmare. However, as a real estate investor or as a business person, it is not always advisable for you to view situations like this only from the negative point of view. Now, that is not to discredit the fact that we are presently facing our challenges as a nation, and so is every nation of the world facing their own challenges. But the practical approach to this is that how can you get the best out of it? Now, when you have studied the Nigerian inflation and you have studied the Nigerian real estate market, you will agree with me that right from the inception of different past administrations, the prices of commodities have never gone down. More importantly, the prices of real estate. Now, what does it teach us? Now, this obviously is a clear indicator for us to understand that regardless of what happened in Nigeria, there is still value on real estate. Now, let's put that aside. Now, I was in a conversation with a medical doctor friend of mine who works in one of the biggest general hospitals here on the island. And according to his statistic, he said on a monthly basis, they count nothing less to 500 babies in just 1 month. What does that tell you? That is a clear indicator that the population is rising. Now, in a nation where there is population increase, in a nation where there is infrastructural development, in a nation where businesses and industries are coming up, this is a clear indicator that the development and the activities of human would definitely necessitate a compulsion for acquiring real estate. Let's go further. So what should you do in this kind of situation? Should you overlook the present challenges of Nigeria and invest in real estate, or you look at the present circumstances and you choose not to reinvest? Now, basically or practically, most of the decision will lie in your hand. But I'm going to give the quote of an esteemed billionaire and a real estate mogul in the person of Dr. Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo. In one of his podcasts, when he was having an interview with a seasoned real estate practitioner here in Lagos, Dr. Matthew Ashimolowo said something. He said 10 years
Anybody who does not invest in Lagos now will regret in 10 years' time. Because some of us regretted not responding to Lagos on time.
And he said further that he is part of those people who regretted for not responding to the real estate industry. Now, looking at the basic fundamentals of this statement, you will understand that Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo has spent most of his life in the UK. He has seen different aspects of life, and for him to come to the conclusion that when it comes to real estate investment, it has to be Nigeria. And from the statement, you will have understood very well that the real estate industry in Nigeria has produced several billionaires. Talking about the Mr. Olawaye Ayilara of Landway, or talking about Mr. Adetola Nola of Veritasi Homes, talking about the Dr. Israel Adekunle of Evermark Property, talking about the highly esteemed Dr. Harrison of Landmark. How can we also talk about Dr. Ajiboye of Efficacy Group? Now, one of the things I've seen about these real estate developers and real estate moguls basically is that these guys have spent most of their life abroad, and despite the fact that they stayed abroad, they still deemed it fit to own their own real estate empires in Nigeria. Do not misquote me. I'm not saying that you should not invest abroad if you have the opportunity to do so. What I'm saying basically is that one of the smartest moves you can do is to diversify your real estate investment. If you own properties abroad, that's a fantastic idea. Do well to invest also in your own country, which is Lagos, Nigeria. Now, by asking me, why should I invest in Lagos, Nigeria? Number one, the growing population. Estimatedly, we have been estimated to be around 23 million people. You know that there's no sufficient data to, prove that. We may even be more. Now, looking at this, if you want to look at the basic fundamentals of the real estate investment, how can you build a profitable real estate portfolio? There are some who have bought large acres of land and they have converted it into farming activities. That means you can go into agricultural production. Then, of course, you can also go into long-term investment plan by doing or buying acres of land, doing what we call land banking. Or you can even choose to go into short-let rentals, hotels, business, commercial activities across the world. Regardless of these categories that may suit your preference and your budget, ensure that you have something in Lagos. Now, the Lagos we are seeing 10, 20 years today is not going to be the Lagos that is presently undergoing some political turmoil and unrest and dislikes. We are looking at a Lagos by 2050 that will have almost the same standard to what we have in Los Angeles, to what we have in Dubai, and every developed cities across Africa and the world. Presently, the Lagos state government have done several rail projects. As I'm talking to you right now, the Mushin rail project is almost completed and ready for launch. Also, the Mile 2 CMS rail project is functional. And the last time I visited the Alaba International Ojo, their rail project is also almost in completion. Look at the Dangote refinery. We've noticed influence and of course the presence of foreign nationals. I've met Indians, I've met Spanish nationalities, I've met the Arabs who are doing business in Ibejuleki. Sometimes these guys will say that there is money on the street of Lagos. It's just quite unfortunate that Lagosians have not come, or their eyes have not opened to the economic activities. Now, this is a Lagos where we are noticing frequent development. Presently, Lagos has two functional seaports, the one at Ibejuleki and the one at Apapa Seaport, and there is a projection to start the Badagry Seaport. Now, when all these projects start to functioning and all these infrastructural projects are in place, 20 years from today, the middle class, I've done a series explaining this, the middle class will not be able to buy real estate or afford properties in Lagos. So if you are a dear real estate investor, what I would say basically is that every nations across the world have their own challenges, and don't make investment decisions based on the current challenges the nation is facing. look at the long term. Look at the Lagos of 2030. Look at the Lagos of 2050. Invest. You may not need it, but people, your children, your generations will be glad and be proud that you're making an investment. And why should you invest? Which is the most important of all. The question is, when do you plan to retire? Do you plan to retire at 30? Do you plan to retire at 50? Do you plan to retire at 60? It is very important that when you want to retire and have, a good pension scheme, having a property in one of the most sought cities across the world is the best way. So, long-term retirement plan, short-term retirement plan, ensure that you include the Lagos State real estate market to your investment checklist, because if you do this, you will, be making and be glad that you're making this investment decision. The Lagos real estate market is highly profitable. How can we explain a scenario within the space of 2 years? Two-bedroom apartment in Lekki Phase 1 rose from being sold from 85 million, and as I'm talking to you right now, the cheapest two-bedroom apartment you can get in Lekki Phase 1 and other parts of the island is between 110 and 120 million, and the tendency that it will rise is high. When you look at the places of the mainland, having access to two-bedroom apartment right now is luxury. Why? Because there is no scarcity, there is no abundance of land. What some developers on the mainland are doing presently right now is that they are buying old houses, demolishing it, and putting structures. What I've seen developer done, what they've done in the mainland axis, looking at the Unilag axis, the Yaba axis, the Bariga axis, the Surulere axis, some of the structures and the projects you will see is either they're selling a studio apartment or a one-bedroom apartment. What is the rationale behind that? It shows that lands are scarce. And despite the fact that these lands are scarce, this building is also in luxury. So whosoever is building does not plan to sell cheap. And whosoever is selling is not always in a rush to sell because he knows that there is the market. Now look at the likes of the Ikeja. Basically right now, the present worth of a two-bedroom apartment in Ikeja axis that is currently under construction is between 75 to 80 million. And if you are getting a two-bedroom apartment for 75 to 8 million in Ikeja, is a good deal, because you see, you don't get to see that. There are places in the Surulere axis and the Ikeja axis where three-bedroom apartment is being sold for 95 million. There is prospect. A lot of people are bringing out investment down to Lagos. Why do you think people came up with the idea of short-let rentals, Airbnb? Look at what AM Realty is doing with the Altura residents. They are selling apartments and they are converting those apartments to a 5-star hospitality business. This obviously is a clear indicator how the industry has metamorphosed. A lot of people are bringing in creativities, a lot of people are innovating ideas, and a lot of people are coming up with beautiful structures just to ensure that the real estate industry is relevant. And of course, the level of competition is very scary. A lot of people are putting on creativity. This is the Lagos real estate market that a lot of people are not showing interest. So the future is the Lagos real estate market. The future is now. So the most important thing you should do, even if you cannot buy the most expensive, ensure you have something in Lagos. Ensure you have something that you can pass to generations. Ensure you have something that when Lagos become one of the most sorted city by 2040, 2050, you will have a key to hand to either to your children or your children's children who may be coming to Lagos to spend their vacation holidays. This obviously is the rationale, and this is why I'm making this video to make you understand that the future is Lagos. So until I come your way again in another educative, exciting, and of course informative session of Property Matters, endeavor to subscribe to this channel, because we have lots of amazing topics and of course real estate opportunities to share with you. See you in my next video. Bye for now.